making their way into the Friendship Hostel Conference Hall and take up their seats to vote in the second GFA Adoptive Congress. This is the second time in a space of 5 months they are converging in this same hall to chart the way forward for Gambian football by voting to either adopt or reject the GFA Normalizing Committee's draft constitution, an issue that has continued to drag on the normalizing process and prolong the uncertainty clouding over Gambian football for close to 1.5 years now. This second adoptive Congress came as a result of the world's football governing body FIFA's disapproval of the outcome of the first adoptive Congress held in December last year, when the then delegates made wholesale amendments before overwhelmingly adopting the draft constitution. This led FIFA to extend the mandate of the Normalizing Committee and calling for a second adoptive Congress. It was not until after a heated argument at the entrance to verify the legitimacy of the delegates when proceedings finally began behind closed doors. Unlike the first adoptive Congress, which lasted well over 10 hours, this one was done quickly, and within a moment, the doors to the Congress Hall were open to journalists, and the Vice Chairman of the Normalizing Committee broke news of the results to the waiting media.
I think you are all eager to know, if you don't already know, that the Congress delegates, 54 delegates were invited, and 48 came, and we voted, and the yes votes were 27, and the no votes were 20.
That was the final results, with 27 out of the 48 delegates who attended the Congress voting in favor of the draft constitution, against 20 who opposed the adoption of the constitution, prompting mixed reactions from delegates.
They completely assassinated the regions by bringing in handpicked people to come and represent, when you have genuine sports people who have been participating in sports year in, year out, by alienating those people and bringing their own people to vote for them. And that result shows. That's why we have 25 against 20. So that is 25 for yes and 20 for no. And what they need is 2/3 of that majority to adopt the constitution. And therefore they fail. So what they are doing right now is to try to convince the FIFA guy who is on their side, so that FIFA can maintain them here and continue their mandate to sit on our head and do whatever they like.
And the choice is we have to move forward. And football has to move forward. And football to move forward, we have to adopt the constitution. That's what FIFA said. It's FIFA who runs football in this world, and that's what they told us. So, you know, all our opinions, anything is just, secondary. The most important thing is we vote the constitution, and we, the delegates, will sit down, look at who is going to come in and run the football in the best interest of the whole nation.
For the Minister of Youth and Sports, this was one important hurdle overcome, and focus must now be on the way forward for Gambian football.
The government, as we all know, is a critical stakeholder in the development process of sports in this country. And so government has been very much interested in charting out a clear roadmap and developing a comprehensive framework for the development of sports and football in the Gambia. Of course, in collaboration with all stakeholders, critically with FIFA and CAF.
Well, the second adoptive Congress might be over, with majority of delegates voting to adopt the draft constitution, but still there remains a big division among the movers and shakers of Gambian football as to how and who should manage the day-to-day affairs of the country's #1 sport. From now, though, against the main elective Congress scheduled for 27 June, the country's enthusiastic football fans will be waiting and hoping that competent people are given the chance to run the affairs of football with the right structures in place. Mumodes Jallo, GRTS Sports.
And before we end this edition of the news, a reminder of our headlines. After so much bickering and mudslinging leading up to the elections, delegates to the GFA's second adoptive Congress have finally okayed the draft constitution. Over 100 Gambian students are getting ready to put their vocational skills to test in the job market after successfully passing through the President's International Award. Newly installed President of the Central African Republic, Michel Djisoria, has promised not to stand as a candidate after the end of the 18-month transition period. An UNHCR chief has been describing the situation in the DRC as one of the worst humanitarian tragedies in the world, as thousands of refugees from neighboring Central African Republic cross into the country. That's all in this edition of the news. Thanks for watching and join us at 10 for another bulletin. Meanwhile, enjoy our programs.
Doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter what you've been through. You can make it if you believe. You've got the potentials living in you. You've got the power to succeed. You've got the power to achieve. You've got the power if you believe. Success power.
Welcome to Success Power. Now, can I confess to you, a mistake that I made several years ago, or at least it's something I did. It was a little embarrassing, but maybe it could be helpful to someone. Okay, this is it. When my wife Nikki and I were courting, there was something I was not conscious about, and it's that she is extroverted, I am introverted. She did a lot of the talking. Did I say a lot? Most of the talking. I did most of the listening, and I think somewhere along the line it dawned on her that if this guy didn't talk, there was no way she was going to know me very well. So I would pick her from work in the evening so we could talk, on the way, and I would drop her off at her house. And once she saw me, the talking started, and she would talk and talk and talk. And you know what? I was crazy about her. That was not an issue at all. It didn't bother me. In any case, it just suited me, so it was not an issue. And that happened every day. But this